The other big question was, how do we know anything? And yes, as Dr. Fahim said, we, of course, it's not just our sensations that we perceive through our senses. We know that there is a world out there. How do you know that? How do you know? Who knows? Is it the mind? Is it the neurocells? Is it the brain function? Who knows this? And the traditional answer to this is, it is the intellect. Not the mind, not the senses, the intellect which Dr. Jas referred to earlier, al-aql, which is a metaphysical reality.
तो रूप भी इसको कहते हैं, बड़ी कंफ्यूजन हो जाती है जब हम इंटेलेक्ट कहते हैं without explaining what it means.
But certainly,
intellect has different connotation. So I guess the connotation that you use the word intellect is the same as you the Mullah Sadra and same as
yes.
But there's another connotation intellect which is praktish, which is deprived of root. And this is how Iqbal uses it. So semantics are always confusing, and we have to make clear
I think I said very clearly that what I'm talking about, what Wolfgang Smith is talking about, is the traditional meaning of the intellect, which is not the mind as such. So,
according to the Quran, the mind and the heart is one, which is the root. And the intellect and all the other, according to the Quran, the mind and heart are one, which is the root. It is in science that they have been separated. Of course, like all science has been separated into blocks, your medicine, pharmacy, physics, and yet they combine somewhere. Even art combines there. Without paint, you will be able to draw or paint. Without pencil, maybe you will draw. Without a canvas, and it is all made of material stuff, which is physical. But the thoughts, there is another part to it, which is thought and feeling. And the root, साइंस बिल्कुल डिफरेंशिएट करती है फीलिंग्स को और तो जो कुरान में एक है और ये बिल्कुल इन द एंड दैट कम्स फ्रॉम गॉड समहाउ और उसके फैकल्टीज हैं.
I'd be very interested to know the specific chapter and verse of the Quran that says that. This would be very educational to me because to my knowledge, the Quran does not say that the mind and the heart is the same and it is the root. My reading of the Quran is quite different. Because where the Quran says to the Prophet ﷺ, they ask you about the spirit, the root. Tell them it is from me.
Yes.
It doesn't say it is your mind or your heart. There's no.
I have not been able to क्योंकि elaborate छोटा बोलना था ना तो मैं वरना इसको बहुत बोल सकती हूँ. सिर्फ इसमें इतना सी चीज़ है कि जो इल्म है ना जो आपने कहा साइंस की इल्म है तो अल्लाह कहता है आई एम ऑल नोइंग. ठीक है तमाम इल्म अल्लाह के पास से आता है तो उस तरह तो वो इल्म भी अल्लाह के पास से आता है. तो इंशाल्लाह मैं आपको निकाल दूँगी.
In the Holy Quran, the word qalb is used for the combination of mind and heart.
No, I'm sorry, I don't read the Quran like that. The Quran does mention the qalb, but nowhere in my knowledge confuses the heart. Please, I'm very educational.
There is confusion.
I'm sure there is. And a lot of the confusion, as you say, is semantics. What is the meaning? But what is actually happening here is another kind of confusion that Dr. Ijaz referred to earlier. The confusion between scientism and science. A confusion between knowledge and our interpretation of things. We tend to be so overwhelmed by the scientific explanation that we believe that it is the mind which is somehow the organ that knows. It's quite distinct in the whole of the literature, in Islam and all of the other religions. There is a very clear understanding and distinction between the senses, the mind, the heart, and the intellect. The intellect is not a physical organ. The mind is a process of the brain. The two should not be confused.
शायद मैं जो समझा जिसका दिल है आपको फीलिंग तो होती है ना कि दिल बैठ रहा है या वो ऑर्गन्स अपनी जगह है मगर जो अंडरलाइन चीज चल रही है that is
the heart which the Quran mentions is not the muscle.
No, it's not.
It is not.
Yes.
It is again semantics. It is the word which we use for the center, the essential being.
सेंटर के लिए सदूर का वर्ड है.
Just let me just finish one thing which I really want to come to when I mentioned the hieromorphic paradigm. The traditional view is that the essence of a thing is not the high but the morph. The essence is the form. That is, the essence is the qualitative aspect of a thing, not the quantitative aspect. The quantitative aspect is, in a sense, a receptacle that receives. Essentially, it is the form that is being manifested. Now, modern science looks at the quantitative aspect, and scientism takes the material aspect of reality to be the only reality. The belief that this is the only reality. Traditionally, it was believed that the real is, the essence is the form, the qualitative aspect.
Sir, comment and a question. The comment is basically when physicists spoke, and what she said that you cannot determine you cannot determine exactly where the particle is, it can be here or there, which quantum physics does, right? And it brings in the sphere of probability. And how the physicists were trying to defend their position by saying that the quantum physics does not, break the, well, it gives you more, right? And of course, it does have to give you more because it opens other regulating, gives us other stuff. But what it gives us is the fact of infallibility that Peirce, when we studied Peirce, right, he talks a lot about it. And what scientists have forgotten to include in their study, though we all know that, even if you do bachelor's, right, or even A-levels, right, that infallibility will always exist. And what quantum physics tells you exactly, on your face, is infallibility, that you do not know whether a particle is our absolute, right? And that's how, even using the mathematics, of course we're going to use the mathematics, but the classical way of looking at it just shatters. And this infallibility can be, it's very useful because what it opens up is what you're saying, the way to look at reality only in the quantitative aspect. And what it opens up is the possibility of looking at it of the reality, right, essence, right, that maybe you're wrong, right, in looking at it just this way, and you're not including other parts, and you said, no, I'm just going to look at it this way. But you do not include mysticism, right, because you just said, no, that there are feelings involved, and I'm going to look at it in a concrete way, and I'm going to look at it in a way that I can determine everything. And like what Iqbal talks about, it will be construction.